Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 633. Happy Tuesday. That's the first sip of the day. Thank you, Trader Joe's. Trying a new creamer today, or this week. Picked some up over the weekend. Went with, I don't drink my coffee black unless I have to and I run out of creamer. So I usually mix it up. And I saw a new flavor from one of the mainstream whatever creamers, cinnamon roll. But the thing is, a good coffee is way better than a good creamer. So it's just kind of like the cream is secondary to the coffee. But I enjoy the Trader Joe's coffee. A few minutes late this morning, my wife is heading to with my mother-in-law. They work together and they have a work retreat today and tonight. So she's not a morning person. So she's like, make sure I'm awake at 7 before you go on. And then I had to take the little pup out to go potty, and she gets bone in the morning after she potties. So what is up, chat? Wow, we've got a booming chat this morning already. Ed is with us. Good morning. George, what is up? Let's see. Jenny, what is up? Good morning. Victor, good morning. Rich is in the house. Well, this was the time I was supposed to be on the airport, literally. Just a bummer. Hopefully your wife is feeling okay. And for those that I think Texas Car Dude is on a plane right now. So those I've seen already this morning. A lot of people are making their getting on the road or in a plane right now, heading to Atlantic City. So safe travels to everyone heading to the National. This is about the time that my FOMO will start kicking in. And it's like, it's a good thing. So I think it was Friday, I was telling my wife that the singles club was coming down. And I think that's how I opened the conversation. I'm like, guess what? The singles club is coming to the show on Saturday. And she just kind of gave me the old side eye, like, what are you talking about? So I explained, and she thinks the singles club for the dollar cards at the National is hilarious and awesome, great marketing. So I was sharing that story, and she's like, "You have so many friends around here. Why don't you just rent a bus and go out there, or a van or whatever?" I'm like, she said it Friday, and I had so many other things. But if that was dropped like today or tomorrow, I might take her up on it and find some last minute rental options, because I do start getting FOMO, and I didn't get FOMO because I've shared this the last few days that I wasn't really big into card shows up until really 2020, but I did go to the 2019 National. And I did get FOMO in 2018 because 2018 I was really in depth in hobby Twitter by that time, once I started the 1 Million Cubs project. So by the summer of 2018, I was feeling the FOMO. And I think where was 2018? I think Cleveland, which, I think if the National were in Cleveland this year, I think without a doubt I'd be there. But Atlantic City is just a little bit difficult because Cleveland I'd probably just drive. It's I don't know, probably 10-hour drive. So I definitely make the trip to Cleveland, but Atlantic City just a little bit. It's too far to drive for me. And the flights and then when you start adding in everything else, it's just not feasible. But mainly because of the flight versus the drive is the main driver of all that. Let's see. So TD Sports Cards is in the house. Dan, what is up, Dan? And I can say good morning. I got to say good evening to George. I can say good morning to Dan for the next couple weeks. He wants to pause the show. He has to go to the bathroom. Thanks. Thanks for letting us know. I hate to ask, how long should I pause? A minute or 5 minutes? Abraham, what's up? Good morning. Listening in from Michigan today. I've seen some of your pictures, your posts. Looks like a lot of fun. Dave, what's up? Let's see, where am I at? My chat jumped ahead. Dave, good morning. Dan, Morning all. I just finished my 6th video. The wife and kids have been out of town, so I've been able to crank out some of it. It's been fun. That's awesome. I caught up on your previous videos yesterday. Great stuff. Zach and Porter in the house. They're up next. I've got some videos to catch up on the Zach and Porter channel. Masood, what is up? Good morning. Let's see. Rich said no fever this morning. That's excellent. That is good news. Ed says waking up my wife requires body armor. Well, in my case, very similar situation. Fortunately, her alarm's been going off, so I'm like the I'm like the alarm's gone off probably 6 times already. And then when human interaction will hopefully wake her up. Jenny, are you doing a Goodwill What's in the Box tonight, or are you on Hobby Hotline? I'm on Hobby Hotline tonight, so I probably won't do a live Goodwill. I mentioned yesterday I was going to go through the Ziploc bag of vintage 60s beaters. Just absolutely demolished. These cards are just absolutely demolished. They're in like a Ziploc bag. But they are 60s football, so it's cool. So I'm going to do a video on that. I wanted to do that yesterday, but yesterday really got out of hand with a lot of like small, and that's the worst, is when you have a lot of like little things to do. Like, it adds up and it really kills the momentum. I was able to ship out 56 items in 1 hour. I'll touch on that today. But that was like the only uninterrupted hour I had all day and night. So it was like I had a lot of things to do, but a lot of like small things that just, you couldn't build that momentum, like to sit down and ship all day or sit down and list all day. I had a few phone calls, just errands to run, just little things, like Club 400. By the way, if you're in Chicago, Club 400 has a Wrigley event coming up August. It's Sunday. It's the Sunday before my card show, which I think is August 21st. This is going to be now they're all really fun, but this is going to be really fun, I think. So it's on a rooftop. So you get the rooftop, it's basically like you're just going to a rooftop, but it's a Club 400 event. So you get that enjoyment. So it's, all you can eat and drink, watch the game from the rooftop, but there's more. And it's basically the cost of if you would go get a rooftop ticket. It's basically the same cost. After the game, our friends, Patrick Wisdom and Frank Schwindel will come up and party with us on the rooftop after the game. They'll take pictures. So if you want a picture, they'll take a picture. So it'll be a professional photographer. They'll take a picture with you. So you'll be right between Frank and Patrick, overlooking Wrigley Field. You'll get a professional photo, and then they'll sign the photos. Once the photos get printed, it'll be at a future date, so you can have them mailed or local pickup in Lake in the Hills. So maybe, I think Ray Burris is going to be there as well. Former Cub, longtime big leaguer Ray Burris. He's been to Club 400. He's one of us now. He's just a regular guy now. He initially he was Ray Burris, former Cub. Now he's like Ray Burris, friend. So Ray's going to be there. Which reminds me, I forgot to make 2 phone calls yesterday. But Frank and Patrick may bring up some teammates. So Frank and Patrick, Frank Schwindel, Patrick Wisdom, they will definitely be there. But there may be some surprises. Some other players might come up and party with us after the game on the rooftop. Tickets, I think $220. And that's all you can eat, all you can drink on the rooftop, watching the game, and then getting to party with Patrick Wisdom and Frank Schwindel post-game. And then there's going to be some other entertainment as well. So that's Club 400 Palooza is what we're calling it, what they're calling it. I say is what Club 400 is calling it. So tickets, I believe, will go on sale to the public. There was, if you listen to the Club 400 podcast, they gave you details on how you could get early access. So my ticket was secured yesterday. So check out that Club 400 podcast, and if you get that message in, you might be able to get access before the public. So check it out. Just Google Club 400, and the website will pop up. It should have details. There's a Club 400 public page on Facebook. That'll have all the details as well. But I believe at some point today, the public ticket sales will go up, and I presume that they will sell out fast. So Club 400 Palooza, partying with Patrick Wisdom and Frank Schwindel, is Sunday, August 21st. So I'm making a weekend out of it. So I've been busting BALLS the last few weeks. So it'll be nice to recharge. Me and a buddy are meeting up. We're gonna do the whole weekend of games. So looking forward to it. Let's see. Where are we at? So I think that was, I don't know, in a roundabout way, that I think that all spurred from Jenny's question about, are you going to Goodwill, or are you doing a video tonight? So I was going to do a video yesterday on the vintage football cards. Didn't get around to it. Hopefully I will today. That was another thing I was going to share. I did look through. I did find some more Goodwill heat, some bangers. And I'm not talking, well, actually I found, and I wanted to share this on video. I didn't want to just say, hey, guess what I found? But hey, guess what I found? A Jacob deGrom auto from like 2015. I don't know if it's rookie year. I think it's second year. Jacob deGrom auto. It's a sticker auto, but I looked up sales on eBay. There's not too many because it's an insert auto. So those are, a little hard to find, but I think it sells for $80 to $100. So that was probably the best find to date. Most of that Goodwill pallet's still in the back of my car. I've only been taking, a few boxes at a time. But I did find the Billy Ripken F-Face card yesterday. What else did I find yesterday? There was a grocery bag. So in the afternoon, and this is why I need to just get away. Because my getaway when I'm at home is, I'm going to take a box of cards and sit on the patio and look at it. Like, it's cards, no matter. That's my getaway. So I opened up my SUV, the back hatch, and okay, let's find something that will be fun to look through on the patio. And I found a grocery bag with some 2001 Upper Deck Golf. And I'm like, hey, I'll go Tiger hunting. Tiger Woods rookie cards. And there were no base Tiger Woods rookie cards in the grocery bag, but there were probably 5 or 6 of the inserts, like the gallery, the scratch off. They were unscratched. So there was a bunch of 01 Upper Deck. There was some first edition Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know anything about those cards. There were a couple hollows. So I looked up. I was a little disappointed. I'm like, oh my God, first edition hollows. And I get people on the Madison Card Show Facebook posts does anybody sell Yu-Gi-Oh? Am I saying that right? Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm just going to have to pick one and run with it. So I'm like, oh, wow, this could be a jackpot. And they were everything else, the Tiger Woods cards, no sleeves. But the Yu-Gi-Oh sleeved. And I'm like, oh, man, this is something. And it's $5, maybe 10 at the most. So a little disappointed by that. There were some Star Wars cards. There were some taller Star Wars. I didn't even look those up. I assumed they're nothing. There were some National Trading Card Days from 2004 Upper Deck. The Jordan was in there. The LeBron was in there. So those are $5 to $10 cards. There were a couple other Jordan Upper Deck cards. It was the Upper Deck bag. But that was a fun find. So I've been finding a lot of those $5 to $10 to $20 cards. There's been a lot of that. So it's been fun. Let's see. Rich says Brad is in the air. He had a 5:30 a.m. flight. Let's see. Herman in the house. Good morning, Hobby World. By the way, we did a box break last night on Herman's channel over at 3B Collection, opening up some Series 2 tops. I had these are fun breaks because, well, number one, it's because we're with friends. We're breaking with friends. So that makes it that much better. But also, there was, how many of us, was there 5 or 6 of us draft? So basically we each get our teams. So I had the Cubs, Jenny had the Twins, Herman had the Braves, Ed had the Red Sox, Diego had the Phillies, and Victor had the Giants. So then after those teams, then we do a snake draft. And so Herman randomizes the names. And so I got the first pick. So I took, with the remaining teams, I took the Seattle Mariners. And the reason why, it's a long shot, but I figure, hey, I'll take the Mariners for that long shot Julio Rodriguez short print rookie. So you'll have to watch the video to see if that was pulled. But I did get from the Mariners spot, I think the only like relic or auto hit. There I am spoiling it. Jared Kelenic. And then there was a Ken Griffey Jr. insert. So the Mariners paid off. And then I took, the White Sox for my buddies Zach and Porter. The Padres, because then now we're getting in the no man's land. But the Padres were still available with my second to last pick. So I'm like, hey, maybe a Tatis. And then I had the irrelevant team where it wasn't a pick. It was just the last team available since it was a snake draft. So I had the last pick. I had the last team, I guess, not pick. It was the Cleveland Guardians. So that's on 3B Collections channel. We broke 6 hanger boxes of Top Series 2. So that was fun. And I still have, and this is another video Herman asked me last night, have you broke yours? This was one of my anniversary gifts from my wife, which I have not personally opened any Series 2 this year. So I'm looking forward to that rip. Maybe today or tomorrow I'll dive into that, do a video of a Series 2 blaster break. That's a short video. For Jenny was asking if I'd do a live Goodwill. Since it's just a blaster box, I might do that live tonight before Hobby Hotline, which, by the way, I'm on Hobby Hotline tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time. And let's see who I'm on with. I do know that Ryan Nolan is on tonight because I'm like, oh, hey, we can talk card show talk. And I've got some great card show, which if you're watching these videos, my Hobby Evolution, you know exactly my review of the Madison Card Show and the surprises that what I was surprised about Saturday's show. Okay, I don't know who's on tonight. Nope, that's Saturdays. I don't know who the lineup is. So anyway, I'm on. I know Ryan's on 8 p.m. Central tonight, Hobby Hotline. Check it out. So maybe before that, since the wife is out of town, I might do, you know what I want to do for dinner tonight? Here's my food talk, Rich. When my wife goes out of town, it's like I can, not that I can't like when she's home, but it's, usually we do dinner together somewhat. But I haven't had any sweet corn yet this year. And this is like prime time here for sweet corn. So I may head over to the grocery store. Actually, I might go to a farmer's stand. I'll probably do that. That's where the best sweet corn is. It's not at the grocery store. It's at one of those roadside pickup trucks. Somebody's got the tailgate down and they're selling they've got dozens, of ears of corn out of the back of their truck that is sitting at the edge of the street. Or the the pop-up stands wherever they might be. So I may go look for one of those today. Maybe I'll take a country cruise. I should take my bike out. I don't know where I'd just be driving all over the countryside looking for sweet corn. That would be the definition of inefficiency. And here I am talking about how busy I am and let's just ride my bike all over the country looking for sweet corn. So I may have sweet corn tonight. The problem is when I eat sweet corn, I eat like too much and then I have like a really bad stomachache because corn's not good for your body. It does not digest well. And so, but it tastes so good. Rich says, I do think a Madison bus to Chicago next year is a good idea. That is a good point. I don't know. Did you bring that up the other day? Somebody brought that up in the chat and I'm like, a Madison Card Show sponsored bus to the National next year because it's literally, hell, we could meet at the Sheraton. It's just off. The Sheraton is right on John Nolan Drive, just off the Beltline. Boom, quick to the interstate and down. It's probably, by bus, it would be 2 hours. if you're driving by car, actually it might be 215 by bus. If you're like me and drive 90, down 90, sorry, officer, I misinterpreted the Interstate 90 sign for the speed limit. I don't think that would work, but yeah, that is a pretty good idea. That's a really good idea. George just loaded up a roll of film, went out to take some shots earlier and had the roll mislabeled. Only had 8 shots on it instead of 18. Was a quick trip. Rich says it reduces everyone's cost. Absolutely. Let's see. Jenny says, I wonder what pricing is. Like, I wonder how much a bus rental would be. Jenny says, I honestly have to wonder how many people may cancel with these COVID numbers. I know we have a huge variety of ages, health condition, etc. in the hobby. I just wonder if people will. I think absolutely people will be canceling. I'm hearing more and more. I talked to somebody yesterday, family had to adjust plans because of COVID. Rich right there. Rich is not making the trip because his wife caught it. Other people, I've heard more and more cases are, springing up. So it very well could. And I'm sure it has. And I know, we know it's impacted at least one of the people we know. Let's see. Jenny says that's a great idea. Even people from Minnesota could join in. Most definitely. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, my chat skipped ahead. So I am. Shoot. Okay. I'm way behind on the chat. Let's see. Okay. Here we are. Zach and Porter chime in. I have zero FOMO about the cards. I'd never budget something like that for how we hobby. Even Chicago would be questionable with how we hobby. However, I wish I could meet the peeps I follow. And that is one of the best things about, the National. But yeah, if you're on a limited hobby budget, it just doesn't make sense because, I've gone over the costs ad nauseum. And it's, I think that's how we think that, everybody hobbies the same way we do. And if we go to the National regularly or even semi-regularly, that, everybody that collects cards goes to the National, which is just not the case. Let's see. Mark Hoyle is in the chat. Good morning. Let's see. Jenny, yes, that makes sense for your area too. Jenny says, everything sells on eBay. 2017 Heritage, Sal Romano, $2 sale. Speaking of, yesterday, I just wanted to get my numbers dipped below 16,000 active listings. I was up around 16,400 by, I think, Thursday of last week. So I was down to like 15,900. So I wanted to get at least close to that I got right back to 16,000 briefly yesterday afternoon when I did a file exchange upload, just a quick like 80 to 100 cards. But Heritage was one of those. I had found I was going through some random boxes back in the corner. Actually, yeah, way back in the corner, the non-Cubs corner. And there were some 2003 Topps Heritage, like a whole stack of, about 80 of them, because that's how many I think I listed yesterday. And those early Heritage cards really sell. Well, a lot of Heritage actually does sell. Archives, my buddy Michael Rathburn dropped me a DM like a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, Topps Archives really sells. And the next time I found some, I listed like 50 of them, and dang, about half of them have sold. Within just a couple weeks, which I was surprised and happy about. So I listed a bunch of 2003 Heritage, and at least one sold pretty quickly. It was Ricky Henderson, which I knew that would be the first one that would sell. There were some, several stars and, minor stars. But I knew Ricky Henderson because I think he's in a Boston Red Sox uniform. Those late Ricky Henderson career cards and Jose Canseco career cards sell really well. Ricky Henderson with like the Red Sox and Blue Jays and Padres, Canseco with the Expos, White Sox, Yankees, the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays. Jose Canseco cards sell really well. Wade Boggs with the Devil Rays. So that's another tip. If you're listing, lower end singles, those late career cards of guys, especially like early Tampa Bay Devil Rays of stars like Wade Boggs, Jose Canseco, Fred McGriff, sell really well. Ricky Henderson late career cards. early 2000s Heritage sells really well. Some of those types of cards. Let's see. Rich says, Zach and Porter just walking around wide-eyed would be fun for you. I would definitely, for Zach and Porter, I would definitely recommend, and maybe when Porter gets a little older, a couple years older, definitely save up and make the trip. Save the hobby budget up, and just maybe start out with just a day trip. But make sure you get there early so you can soak it all in for the entire day. But I would especially when Porter's still youngish. Don't wait till he's 18, but maybe now is a little soon. I guess next year he'll be how old? I don't know, 11. But I would recommend when it comes back to Chicago, whether it's next year or in another 3 years or whenever that may be, make the trip. Even at that, I think it's definitely worth, say, a couple $100, $200. And that's probably on the high side if you're just making a day trip out of it. Let's see. Jenny says, Zach, with Chicago so close and you could cruise with Bo, you could just come down with P for the experience. The history of the hobby, no P loves history, would be awesome. People will have unopened 59 Topps packs. It's just like anything you can think of will be there, is there. Uncle Rich, did you ever have a 62 Lou Brock that you wrote your name on the back of? I saw one today, LOL. Ken, what is up? Let's see. How do I get that photography gig? Probably pays better than my current one. Let's see. Glad y'all like Zach. Oh, of course we all like Zach. There's a comma in there. Glad y'all like, Zach. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. Good morning to you. Victor asks, is it a night game? So the Club 400 event, I'm pretty sure it's a day game. Let's just confirm on the handy MLB app. So Sunday, August 21st. I'm pretty sure it's a day game because if it was a night game, it would be tough. And I think they have Monday off. So maybe the Bears have a little more fun than what they normally would. If you catch my drift. Let's see. August 21st. Cubs. Where you at, Cubs? 120. Oh, and it's against those darn Milwaukee Brewers. So 120 on Sunday, August 21st. So it's a day game. Jenny asks, where's Low Roller? I don't know. He did pop in. Low Roller was in the chat with my interview on Sunday night with AIH. 2015 is second year DeGrom, but he was only an update in 2014 from my memory. That sounds about right. Dan says DeGrom pitches here tomorrow for Syracuse. Last time he sold out the stadium. Those rehab starts are always so fun. When I lived down in Illinois, the Peoria Chiefs, when they were a Cubs affiliate, they often had big league Cubs on rehab. Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor. Let's see who else came. I think Soriano might have made a rehab start for the Chiefs. Ted Lilly, Carlos Zambrano, Wade Miller and Henry Blanco. It seemed like they were just part of the Peoria Chiefs. They were there so much. I think Wade Miller rehabbed with the Chiefs like 8 times while he was with the Cubs over a couple years. Same with Henry. My parents for a time were going to more Peoria Chiefs games than I was. And they would stay at the Pierre Marquette, which is downtown Peoria, and it's just a short walk down to the stadium, a couple blocks. So they would go 2 or 3 times a year and just have a fun weekend. And my mom called me, I think it was probably the next day because it was probably a late night. And they rode the elevator with Henry Blanco. My mom was so excited. She got his autograph on like a napkin or something random. My dad was always loved Henry Blanco, but I'm like, did he talk to you? No, not really. Let's see. George says, Bo, you need to connect to Stay Off My Lawn Wi-Fi. Yours blows again this morning. Ah, damn it. I've got full strength on my little bars down here. Of course, you may have sent that message about 20 minutes ago. So speaking of scratched, where is Low Roller Scratcher? Dan does a pronouncer for, so I'm guessing that middle is G, UGO. UGO, stay away from selling on eBay if you don't know it, because I bought a bag of them 8 years ago, showed a friend, and she said they were fakes. I had no clue. Have someone check for you. Okay, I'm sure I have somebody at the Madison Card Show that can help me out. I assume they're real, but you know what assuming gets you. Let's see. Heading into the food pantry. We'll catch the rest on the way home from work. Have a great day, Dan. Mark says, great guest appearance by Dan last night on 3B's break. Absolutely. Porter appreciates you, Bo. Did you get any Abreu's? I did. So, Zach, I pulled 3 of those inserts. So the only reason I took the White Sox was to give to you. Surprise. I'm like, oh, I'll take the White Sox and give those to Zach and Porter. Let's see. George had taco salad for dinner. Always good. And I had my sweet corn in it. Good morning, John. Welcome back to the U.S. And John, I have a package building for you. So probably, well, some of them I still I set in a box, and now I don't. That's my problem when I set aside for cards for people. I then, when I clean, my area, I put them in a box, and I'm like, oh, I'll just put this over here, and then I forget where over here is, and they get lost in a box, and then I'll uncover, oh, hey, I forgot I set these aside. Let's see. Mark says sweet corn from local farm here. Those are the best. That's the best sweet corn. Let's see. Zach asks, Dan, how did it go? I'm talking about your sale and not the bathroom break. Rich says sweet corn sounds like fun. Paul Carl in the house. Good morning. Card Hobbyist says corn is sugary roughage. Yeah, it's not very good on the inner workings of your body. Sweet corn has to come from the can here because all they grow is cattle feed, a.k.a. feed corn. In 1984, I know the Albany Collectors Club took a bus to the Parsippany National. Parsippany is such a fun city name to say. It's like all the cities in Wisconsin, like Ashwaubenon and Waukesha. Oshkosh is fun. It's easy, but it's fun. Manitowoc. Fun Wisconsin city names. Parsippany. And that was a 3-hour trip. 2 hours on a nice bus would be a nice thing for your customers. That's cool. And we could do a sign up at the June and July shows. That way I can capture additional names. At least gauge interest. At least start that list in June. Start gauging interest. I like this idea. Rich, star of the day. Let's see. Where are we at? Skipped way ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. George says they call it waxy corn. I call it no flavor corn, only fit for the livestock. DJ Scorpio in the house. Good morning to you. Rich Klein says mine was a forced cancel by the medical. Collin County here in DFW, a very conservative area, is in COVID-19 red. And I'm surprised. I think we're in that similar spot, and we're very strict. Our county here in Madison, Dane County, is very strict when it came to COVID masking and, indoor events back in, 2020 and early 2020 and early 2021. So I'm surprised we haven't at least had a mask mandate go into effect. Buses won't work in this day and age. People are too independent. And when this all started, our judge said all businesses are important, so we stayed open for an extra week. Wait a second, he is in the corner. Was he all losing his religion? That's a terrible joke. Sorry. I got it, though. REM. I chuckled when Dan Ryan mistakenly said he had 53,000 listings in his video. Let's see. John says, no late career cards sell better than Satchel Paige. Probably so. I would assume so. 11 is a great age to go. National is in Chicago next year. Take Porter. I would definitely say make it a day trip for sure, definitely. And you won't regret it. You will not, absolutely not regret it. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, to that 70s show, your comment made me just realize that I have not seen any Jordan Wizard cards. I would totally go for those. At the chat were none produced. Yes, there are. There are Michael Jordan Wizards cards. Maybe a lot of the cards that are in my Goodwill are from that era. So if I come across any, I know where they're going. Let's see. No, that one was safe from my pen. Dollar box in the house. I apologize. I finally got those videos over to the dollar box last night. So we did a dollar box challenge in case you missed. If you missed my review of the Madison Card Show, Dollar Box and I did a dollar box challenge. So there's going to be a video coming up on his channel with how we ran it and how we came out. We're going to let you vote on who wins the dollar box challenge. So I was finally able to get those uploaded, and my portion of digging through the dollar boxes. Bob's in the house. What is up, Bob? Mike, this baseball card life. Good morning to you. Picked up my rental car a half hour ago. Packing the car now, making the drive from Ohio to Atlantic City today. We'll miss seeing Mr. Rich Klein. Mike, safe travels to you. See, this is when my FOMO kicks in. This is people are packing their cars, jumping on planes. That's my FOMO. No more. The height of FOMO will be on like Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. That's when it's like, oh man, I wish I was racing to the singles club right now. Let's see. Abraham says, darn first place Milwaukee Brewers. I wish the Cubs could do something about that, but they suck. So I'm just going to have to deal with it. Zach and Porter said low roller popped into AIH. 10 seconds in, brought up the Goodwill palette during a lengthy Cubs discussion. Loved it. Yeah. It's you never know. You never know what's going to come up. Well, actually you do. The Goodwill palette. It's always going to come up. DJ Scorpio says, just a heads up for any going to the National that is not from New Jersey. Depending on your budget, the Borgsta buffet is amazing. It was $44. Paul Carl says, Bo, do you post mostly stars and minor stars to your eBay? I was looking at your solds and actives and saw that as a pattern, but only made it through a few hundred. Yes. So I definitely cherry pick. So this was something, Triple E Cards, which I know watches the channel, has like 48,000 listings on eBay, but a lot of comments. And I said, you're going to get a much better sell-through rate if you list stars and minor stars or common fan favorites. If you cherry pick your listings, and it's probably going to take a little more time than if you just take a set and boom, you can power out, 2 to my 1 or 4 to my 1, 5 to my 1. But the sell-through rate's going to be much better when you list stars and minor stars. So that's what I, and I think that's why my sell-through rate's, going to be higher. And again, when I talk about sell-through rates, I'll say, and I saw a comment on the Bench Clear interview with Ty I did. Somebody said, well, below 1% is brutally bad. Actually, no, 1% is about average. And let me explain the sell-through rate that's calculated that, 1%, I would be thrilled with 1% right now. It's my sell-through rate's about 0.5%. Here's how it's calculated. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's a daily sell-through rate. So it's what percent of my inventory do I sell on a daily basis? So basically, how many cards do I sell on a daily basis? I sell roughly 80 cards, 85 cards a day, and that's over a 90-day window. So that's a good, that's a good pool to, get good numbers from. So I take my 90-day snapshot on the eBay app. So, you get your homepage on the app and it says your 90-day numbers. How many sold have I had in the last 90 days? And right now it's around 7,300. Divide that number by 90. That'll get your daily sales for the last 90 days. So it's, roughly 80, 82, somewhere in that range. Take 82 divided by the number of active listings, which right now is hovering around 16,000. That's going to give you your daily sell-through rate, which based on those numbers is about 0.5%, which is below what I would like. But I've been adding a lot more inventory than what I sell, which is also part of the plan. But as you know, as time goes on, you're going to sell more and more. Like within the last week, I've sold 500 cards, but probably listed 100, maybe 125 in that same time frame. So that sell-through rate's gonna tick back up. The sell-through rate that I'm quoting, that I'm talking about, it's not, you have to calculate it yourself. I calculate it every day and I record it in a spreadsheet so I can go back and look. I started recording it back in December, and I can go back and look through my daily sell-through rate from December. And it's fluctuated since December like 20th when I started calculating. My sell-through rates fluctuated between like as low as 0.49% to as high as 0.8%. Now, a year ago, last September, it was like 1.3%. So it dropped that much from September to December. But also remember, I went full time in October, and so I had much more time to get those listings up. And I think I put 2,000 or 3,000 additional listings in that, small. At the height of the pandemic, when everybody was buying and it was 2.3%, which I wouldn't be doing this video if I was at 2.3 sell-through rate on 16,000 cards, because I'd just be shipping all day. So that would be, what would that would be 4 times what I'm doing. It would be like 200 sales. No, 300 sales a day, about something around there. So yes, I think, ultimately the key, if you're listing on eBay, the key is to sell cards, not list cards, right? Now you do have to have more listings to have more eyeballs to make more sales. It's all trickle down. But you want to have the right inventory, because a 1990 Topps Jeff Ballard is not going to bring in eyeballs. But a 1990 Fleer Reggie Miller or a 1991 Topps Jose Canseco, even though it's junk wax, it's still a big name. It's going to bring in a lot more eyeballs. Well, it's going to bring in more eyeballs, not a lot more eyeballs than just a common player. So that's my advice from that point. Speaking of eBay and shipping, I did want to share my numbers. So I've been quoting kind of flippantly, like, oh yeah, I can ship 50 to 60 items an hour. But I've never really like timed myself over a 1 hour period. Now I've done like, I'll take one, and in my shipping process from start to finish, it's about 1 item per minute. But it's like, okay, what about the in-between time? What if it's hard to find a card? So I want to take 1 interrupted hour and see how many cards I can actually ship within that 60-minute time frame. And my fear was, I've been telling people, I can ship 50 to 60 cards per hour. My fear was, when it was all said and done, I was probably exaggerating and it might be only 40. But it came out 56. I was able to ship out in 1 interrupted hour. And this is from start to finish, the shipping process. So say Jenny buys a Brett Favre card. So Jenny just bought that Brett Favre card. I come to eBay. I see there's Jenny's sale. I click print label. It prints the label. I find the Brett Favre card. It's in section box 3, tab A. I go through the pile. There's the Brett Favre card. It goes into a card saver, into a piece of paper, into the envelope. The label's printed, slap, boom. That's the shipping process, start to finish, roughly 1 minute per card. That's why the thermal label printer, people are like, holy cow, thermal label printer for the win. Big time. Let's see. Paul says, I'm working on increasing my sell-through rate and not wasting my remaining free listings. And that's what I was, when Triple E and I were tweeting back and forth, he's getting close to reaching that max, and decisions will need to be made. Like, if you're not moving cards, like, yeah, it's great to have more, top 5, top 10 inventory, but if you're not selling cards, it's not worth it. Because the goal on eBay is to sell cards, not list cards. So it takes longer to cherry pick, but it's worth it because those cards move. And sometimes I can list 100 cards and 20 sell within 24 hours, which is a fantastic sell-through rate, 20%. But I can take like the 86 tops and 81 tops football, which there were a lot of commons, even being early 80s football, which moves significantly better than baseball, list 500, and I've probably only sold 20 in a month out of 500. So that is a very poor sell-through. Moving on. George says that was in fact about 20 minutes ago. You cleared up. Okay, awesome. Zach and Porter says, checked TCDB, Trading Card Database. There are Jordan Wizard cards. I think those would be cool to grab, saying as a Bulls fan. Bo, that Abreu comment was a joke. I got it. It was in every pack. Yeah, so there was, so in the break, check it out, 3B Collections channel. We opened 6 hanger boxes. 3 consecutive hanger boxes. There was a Jose Abreu Future Stars insert card. Let's see. Rich says I had lunch at 3 p.m. yesterday, so that covered dinner as well. Steak po' boy as something. Oh, more food talk. Thank you, Rich. Okay. Since I'm off from work this week, it's time for some interesting lunches. Thank you, Rich. See, this is why I love this show. Because I wanted to touch on something, and Rich with his lunch talk reminded me. Has there ever been a food, and usually for me it's cereal, that all of a sudden triggers your childhood, like Boo Berry or Frankenberry? Like, oh man, because it seemed like for a long time I didn't see that in stores, and then all of a sudden when they kind of like brought it back, maybe it's like, oh, that was my favorite cereal. My mom never bought it for me because it had too much sugar, but I loved it, and every once in a while she would buy it for me. It wasn't like, every week I had to suffer through Life or Wheaties. And as a kid, I didn't like that. I wanted Frankenberry. So it was a real treat when my mom brought home Frankenberry. But one thing that my mom made a lot of, which is kind of, sodium really in the 90s, 80s, I don't think we really thought about sodium as much. Like that was like the TV dinner era, and I guess TV dinner era goes even further back, but 80s and 90s, like quick meals, TV dinner. So I ate a lot of like easy frozen meals. So one of which that I hadn't had, something I haven't had that I forgot they even made because I never see it. Nobody ever talks about it, but it was like my favorite lunch as a kid. Do you remember pizza burgers? Pizza burgers. I was just tooling around the grocery store the other day, and I'm in the frozen section, going to get my frozen breakfast burritos, and I saw pizza burgers. I'm like, holy shit. I haven't had a pizza burger in 25 years. I forgot these even existed, but I loved these as a kid. And what my mom would do when she made me pizza burgers, she would decrust it for me. So I would eat pizza. My mom would make pizza burgers, and then she would decrust. She would take the crust off for me. And that was like the best ever. So I'm like, I have to get these pizza burgers. The box looked different than what I remember. Of course, it's been 25 years. Although the box looked like it was straight out of 1987. And there was like it was what frostbit or whatever you call freezer burned. There was some freezer burn going on, so it could be these pizza burgers could have been from 1987. I don't think grocery stores have high turnover rates on pizza burgers, so I got the pizza burgers, and I thought you could just microwave them. So I'm like, oh, this is an easy microwave meal. So I get the box out. I'm like, how long do I nuke these for? It's like, oh crap, it's like raw. It's actually like just frozen beef patties with pizza cheese in the middle. Shoot. So I had to put them in the It's not a pizza oven. It's what do you call it? One of those small ovens. So put it in that. And they were smaller. Like I remember the pizza burger patties being like basically a round pizza or a round burger patty. Like if you bought frozen burgers at a grocery store, typically they're like those discs. So I remember my pizza burgers being a disc, and I remember like the cheese being on top. These were stuffed. So I didn't buy the right pizza burgers. I might just throw the rest away because they were not good. And they were like small patties. So basically, 2 of these pizza burger patties fit on a standard piece of bread. And it was like I thought it was going to take me back to my childhood. It didn't. But I think I bought the wrong brand or wrong kind. The kind I ate probably went out of business 2 decades ago. But I may try it again if I see. I assume the pizza burger section is not that big at the grocery store in the freezer section. But next time I go, I'm going to seek out a pizza burger that I remember, if they even have them anymore. So I was disappointed, but I'm glad Rich brought that up because I forgot. I did want to talk about that. And I just want to know, does anybody else remember pizza burgers? Or do you still eat them? Did you ever eat them? Because I loved them. Man, did I love them. John says, I'm uncomfortable with the term. John, I have a package building for you. Zach and Porter says oh crap. I skipped ahead. Where are we at? I'm probably way behind in the chat because of my pizza burger chat. Let's see. There we go. Zach and Porter says we put all our trades and cards for people in the same box. We have our PC doubles so we never misplace them. That's a good plan. The box isn't the issue. It's where I put the box. If you look behind me, I need to find like a safe place. I need a safe space for my trade boxes, because what happens is I'll put them over here and then they get jumbled. So I need a trade box safe space. Let's see. John is concerned about Rich's and Mark's sleeping routines. Let's see. Dollar Box, all those great names, and I live in Hobart. Well, I live in technically Verona is where I live. Yeah, but it's like the Milwaukee area has all the fun names. Let's see. And if you don't get enough people, you can always cancel the bus. By the way, a huge congrats to Porter for getting accepted to his new school yesterday. That's awesome. Congratulations. John says Dane County should be more strict on the quality of music they book. Yeah, the Dane County Fair really let music fans down. Zach and Porter says, I lived in Bellevue a few years. Last stop in radio working for Cumulus. Hobart is nice. Let's see. Rich says mask mandates would only reinstall if things get really sideways. Cooter, good morning to you. Rich says even one of the strictest health officials during the whole mess said mask mandates are not yet in the toolbox. Well, that's good. But if it gets really bad, you can do what you want. Absolutely. John says no FOMO, live your best life. That's words to live by. I like that. Victor says, hey, Cubs are in a 5-game winning streak. How about that? Where's Diego? Sweeping the Phillies. Paul says, thanks for answering. I'm feeling more confident in going that direction now. Baseball card curmudgeon, welcome. What is up? George says it won't take Bo long to build that package for you, John. He does about 1 per minute. I'm sure you can endure. Let's see. DJ Scorpio, Borgata is all thumbs today. Borgata is the only hotel I'd willingly stay at in AC. 608 Sports Cards, trade night on a bus. Hey, how cool would that be? JG, I'm at 0.08%. Thanks for the calculation on sell-through rate. Good to calculate every month. It's a great barometer. It's a great measuring stick to see how sales are actually, performing, because, you can do like, oh, hey, look, I'm at 7,300, sold in the last 90 days. A month ago, I was at 6,300. But how many listings did I add in that month? I could have added 10,000 listings. And it's not really a good barometer of, of the true measure of how much you're selling through. So that percentage is a great way. And again, it's going to by this, I could have calculated mine at the start of the show to the end of the show, and it's going to be, slightly off, because it's not like I'm, selling a ton in an hour. But that percentage will be just, bye, have fun. My wife's leaving. I don't know how to mute this, because remember, the microphone doesn't work. Let's see. Rich says, by the way, John K was great about the canceled flight. He got his miles back a few minutes after I sent the information. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Loved his line about how AA is greedy enough and they are with the bag fees. Rich will use them for Chicago 23. Wait a second. 32 people watching and just 5 likes. Hey, we're up to 9. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Rich. Bo is bringing new meaning to being a 60-second man. I'm afraid of getting COVID, so I'm not touching the like button. DJ Scorpio says at the 70s card show, honestly, I like Harrah's better since MGM took over Borgata. Is it Borgata or Borgata? Like Colombia. Borgata. I like Borgata. I like that, how that comes off the tongue. Buffet-wise, top-notch. Dollar Box says listing consistently helps your exposure on the old eBay algorithm. Absolutely. And really any action that you're doing, whether it's listing, sending offers, accepting offers, editing items, item specifics. I'm not big on, just because I'm volume, I don't go in and add specifics to everything. But those little, we call them in sales, we call them touches. So any of those touches help that algorithm. Let's see. George asks about sodium. What's that? You talking about flavor? I am not a salt fan. I do not like, when I see somebody like at McDonald's adding salt to their fries, I want to throw up. I am like scraping salt off my McDonald's fries. Like, I'm saying that like I'm Mr. Healthy. I scrape the salt off I'm so healthy, I scrape the salt off my McDonald's French fries. Someday he should do a live show from John Nolan Drive. John says, Steakums. That was the true MVP of the 1980s. And Elio's Pizza. I am not familiar with Elio's Pizza. I am familiar with Steakums. I'm sure I had them back then in the 80s or 90s, but I am familiar with Steakums. Where are we at? Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, Bo cooking frozen foods in the Easy Bake Oven. People are really annoyed the Choco Taco is being discontinued. I cooked in an Easy Bake Oven back in the day. I think that started me on the downward spiral with my weight. Pizza burgers, new to me, says the baseball card curmudgeon. Pizza burgers must be a Midwest thing. It must be, because you never hear about them. At least, but man, back in the 80s and 90s, that was my thing. If I want pizza, I eat pizza. If I want burger, I get a burger. I don't want my wife meeting my mistress. Well said. But pizza burgers are good. If you're not, if pizza is not readily available, if a burger isn't readily available, the pizza burger comes in a pinch. Rich says, hey, this would be a great meal for cooking with Bo. All it is taking them out of the box and putting them in the oven. The spinoff series. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, I literally just brought up those to P. Pizza, sandwiches, and burgers. He will have hot lunch for the first time ever. George says, I'm at about 50% on the local forum, but when you price at 10% of comps, what do you expect? Rich says, John knows I tend to get up about 2 to 3 a.m. for an hour and then go back to sleep. Luke's got cards in the house. Good morning. Did you end up selling the yellow De La Cruz auto you pulled from the blaster? I did. It sold for $1,300. I'm kind of afraid to see what it would sell for now, because he is just absolutely mashing in high A, and he's 19 years old. So yeah, it did sell, and it sold fairly. I think it sold within a week. It took a few days, but I got the offer of $1,300. I was happy with. So it sold for $1,300. Let's see. Herman says, got behind, going to have to go back to catch up. Some Totino's pizza rolls, lava in crust and delicious. Man, pizza rolls. Maybe that's what I'll do tonight. Pizza rolls and sweet corn. I totally remember pizza burgers. Oh, good. I'm glad somebody remembers. Some restaurants have them on the menu. Interesting. I've never had a restaurant pizza burger. They were always, frozen in the frozen section. Cooter says, I think you should start having guests on the weekend. Would be nice to learn more about everyone in the chat. It could be like a guest cooking segment on local TV shows. That is cool. Mike Moynihan actually suggested that for the Free for All Friday. Said I should have guests on. Let's see. Luke Scott Card says, wow, still a nice little profit. Oh, yeah. So the Ellie De La Cruz, that sale of the one card paid for all the blasters I bought, with a little profit on top. And, and on top of that, all the other hits. So yeah, it was great luck indeed. Pizza rolls are king snack in our house. Our kids get very upset when the other one finishes them off. I went through like my college years. So growing up, my mom would put pizza rolls in the oven. But I would always have them in the microwave. And then like all through my early adulthood in my 20s, I always put them in the microwave. I was mind blown. I was crashing at a friend's house. We'd been out partying. And of course, fourth meal, post bar meal, he's like, do you guys want some pizza rolls? Yeah, put them in. We want pizza rolls. And all of a sudden he gets out a cookie sheet. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Put them in the microwave. He's like, oh no, you can't put pizza rolls in the microwave. You got to put them in the oven. And I'm like, that's just a waste of time. I'm hungry. It's going to take 10 minutes in the oven. It only takes 2 in the microwave. And when they came out, there is a huge difference. And I'm probably the only one that throws pizza rolls in the microwave. But if you are like me and put pizza rolls in the microwave, stop and put them in the oven. It'll change your life. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, pizza rolls and sweet corn equals countdown to the restroom. John says $1,300 card sale, and the dude is eating hybrid foods with freezer burn, right? That's how I can afford the next blaster box. Can I call in from my bed? Mickey D's need salt on their fries more than they used to. I disagree with that. We have a small franchise frozen custard place here called Zesties. They make an amazing pizza burger. Interesting. Pizza rolls plus sweet corn is just pizza in Korea. Don't believe me? Just Google it. So, Card Hobby says, I believe you, collection KBO, but I Googled it anyways. I'd eat it. So yesterday, the thumbnail, I don't even know if I talked about this at the beginning. Over the weekend, Mike Sommer reached out to me and he's like, hey, me and my family are coming up through going to northern Wisconsin. We're going to be driving through Madison. Will you be around on Monday? I've got some Cubs cards for you. And I'm like, yeah, just let me know. And so he pulled up around 11 o'clock yesterday morning and had some Cubs. And he's like, I want to take some pictures. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I want to do a scavenger. It's the Hobby Evolution scavenger hunt. So he's like, I need a picture in your seat, which where I'm sitting right now in front of the Bowman U wall. It's like, I need a picture in front of the ball wall, and I need a picture next to Frank's lawn. So I did not have any. I did not see Frank yesterday. Frank the neighbor. So we went out. So we got the pictures down here. Went outside, and Mike got to see Frank's backyard. So Mike Sommer, great to see you. Enjoy your trip up north. And John Nolan Drive. He got a sign of John Nolan Drive. Which there you go. Take a drink. I'm out of coffee. Actually, I've got some cold coffee. I've got a couple sips of cold coffee left. The really cold coffee. So he got a picture of the sign to the exit for John Nolan Drive. So Mike, great to see you. Have fun this week. Let's see. Zach and Porter says all of Bo's money goes toward his lawn. He lost the challenge with Frank, is now being forced to move. He's hoping to do better against the dollar box. The lawn challenge. Once Frank got his sprinklers fixed, man, his lawn's looking better. I need to mow. Frank mowed. But I've been holding out because I don't want to mow and my lawn gets sunburned. So I've kind of been holding out. So it does. I was gonna mow yesterday, but I was my allergies were. I think it's the change in temperatures and humidity levels went from like 100% humidity on Saturday to Sunday being like 65. It's 66 right now. So it's really messing with my upper, what do you call this? The T zone. So that area is happens every time we go with uh, uh, big weather changes, like my scientific words. Big weather changes, especially when it comes to humidity. I love the heat and humidity, but when it goes from like 100% humidity and 95 degrees to 65 and no humidity, it wreaks havoc on my entire head. So I didn't want to make that worse by mowing the lawn yesterday. So I probably will hammer that out this afternoon. So let's go into the chat real quick. Where are we at? Cooter says, which roof of mouth burn is worse, the pizza roll burn, chicken pot pie burn, or microwave burrito burn? I'm going to add one to the list, and well, I guess technically it would be a burn. It's the captain. I'm going to say captain. It's easier to say than Cap'n Crunch. Captain Crunch cereal. That's the worst because it wreaks havoc on your entire mouth. Like with the frozen food burns, with the pizza roll, although that's brutal, the pizza roll, the pot pie, the breakfast burrito or regular burrito, it's usually like it's just instant. It's either the tongue or it's the roof of your mouth. It's like it's isolated. But Captain Crunch, it's like razor blades in your mouth. Like it tears up the roof of your mouth, your tongue, the sides, just everywhere. Captain Crunch is the worst. Captain Crunch is worse than pizza roll burn. And I think pizza roll burn, but if I had to pick out of those three options, pizza roll burn is the worst. Pizza roll burn is the worst. I mean, they all suck. But I'm going to give my nod out of those. But overall, Captain Crunch, because it's razor blades in your mouth. That's their new tagline. Kids, eat Captain Crunch cereal. It's razor blades in your mouth. George is a microwave guy. Nuke that stuff into submission. Make it soggy and unpredictable. Bo, now that you are full-time, when you get a great profit offer, you take it and then put that money back into your business or pay some bills. Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's like my, more so now than, especially doing in volume. It's like, I'll take some offers. If it's like a $10 card and I know I have $1 into it, somebody offers me $5. If it's been in my store, I'll take that offer. It's like, I've got 81 cents into this dollar card. I'll take $5 or $6, even though it comps at 10. So, any profit is good profit, but you also don't want to leave money on the table. There is a fine line. But if it's something I list for $10 right now, and in a half an hour, somebody offers me $5, I'm going to counter back and, I'll probably, settle at $7.50 or $8, but I'm not going to go any lower. But if it's been in my store for 6 months, I'll take that $5 offer right off the bat. George says microwave bean and cheese burrito is George's worst burn. Where are we at? Zach and Porter says red sauce out of a microwave, no matter what delivery method, that burn is the worst. George adds pizza isn't bad at all here. Some people find it off-putting with them throwing corn on it. On the plus side, you can tell when the pizza has run its course. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There's no such thing as a bad pizza. I don't care what's on it. Like, you put anchovies on it, I'll eat it. You put corn on it, I'll eat it. Any pizza is good pizza. I'm not a traditionalist when it comes to pizza. I love it all. 2 microwave burritos used to be my go-to meal for break as a teen when I worked at Hy-Vee. Breakfast burritos. I eat 2 breakfast burritos, microwavable breakfast burritos for breakfast almost every day. I mix it up sometimes. DJ Scorpio says the humidity is crushing me. I'm getting migraines on the reg with humidity. That's what I think the last couple days, because it didn't affect me. Sunday morning, man, I woke up with a booming headache. and I think I even talked about it here on the show. It was probably a combination of the humidity and the spotted cows I drank the night before, and I didn't get much. I was up a couple times during the night, so my sleep was off. But I think a majority, man, that humidity on Saturday here was just, I mean, it was brutal. And then by Sunday, it was like no humidity. So it just, the headache, those humidity headaches are bad. Even though I love heat and humidity, sometimes it does just mess with my head. What about the hot pocket burn? Oh, the hot pocket burn is bad. It's either frozen or like lava when you bite into it. Absolutely. And then when you do, in the rare occasion, what's up, Card Cutter, by the way? The rare occasion that you do get it like at a good warm temperature, it's like, how can I nail this? Because you can, and I do. Here's my because I eat hot pockets on the regular. I'm like the the definition of fitness here, or I guess it would, of clean eating. Breakfast burritos in the morning and hot pockets and pizza burgers for lunch. But the hot pocket, I do the same every time. 2 minutes on one side, 90 seconds on the other side. And sometimes it comes out like half cold, half hot. Sometimes it comes out perfect. Sometimes it comes out blazing hot. And it's a newer microwave. It's not the microwave because everything else works fine, but it's the hot pocket. And maybe it could be like the different kinds of hot pockets. Maybe the Philly cheesesteak has to be cooked longer or shorter than the meatball or the 4 cheese. I don't know. I guess that could be. John says 79 Tops gum is worse than the Captain. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, or both, a tiny iceberg encased and surrounded by boiling magma. You 80s kids got off easy getting puzzle pieces and stickers in your wax. Let's see. Does Frank even know he is our version of Carlton the Doorman? No. I don't even know if Frank has I think he does have the internet because I did Facebook stalk him. He is on Facebook. I don't know if he really knows how to use it though. There is a like Wi-Fi network called Get Off My Lawn within my neighborhood. I was assuming that was but I don't think Frank is technologically advanced enough to name his Wi-Fi network. I think it would just be like the random numbers and letters. I don't think he would be able to figure out the naming of it. And who knows? Maybe he'll come out, grab some tomatoes this afternoon and be like, hey, I was watching your show this morning. You're talking about me. John says, I picture scientists lining up to study. Weighs innards once he passes. I smell bidding war with reserve met. You aren't a hot pocket connoisseur unless you have bitten into one to find all pocket with no hot. So how do you eat your hot? So I told you how I make them in the microwave, 2 minutes one side, 90 seconds the other. Then, because they're boiling hot magma, as somebody mentioned in the chat, I tear them in half to cool them down faster. So I eat them one half at a time. I don't take the whole hot pocket and bite into it because that's how you burn your mouth. I rip it open, and sometimes I burn my finger touching that boiling magma. Woohoo! AC Tech is on the way. No more ass coffee. Let's see. George says, Bo never graduated from school, still living in the basement and eating microwave foods, right? Hot pockets are non-biodegradable. Frank's sock game is on point. He does. He wears the high socks. Do we think Frank is a flat earther? I don't know. Sometimes my wife and I will talk about, like, what do you think? How do you think Frank votes? Or what do you think Frank's thoughts on COVID are? And he doesn't really reveal, like when we talk, usually it's just like weather talk. Sometimes he like complains about the other neighbors. And then I wonder if he complains about me to the other neighbors. I'm sure he does. Because usually he just complains about, how come your grass is so tall? But he talked about one of the neighbors still had like sheets, like when they first built the house, they still have sheets up as curtains. You can see right in. Okay. Too much information, Frank. You should have Frank as a guest. I don't know how that would go. He's into sports. He's all Wisconsin. So Frank he's a big Badger fan. I want to eat a cucumber with Frank on the back lawn. He's a Packers fan. He's a Brewers fan. He'll fly. He started flying because when I moved in, put my flagpole up, I would fly Cubs flags, the W flag. And so then we had a little neighborly flag war. So, he would fly the Brewers flag and the Packers flag. So he's all Wisconsin. I know he goes to Branson. He's a Branson guy, which I'm not. That doesn't surprise me one bit. But let's see. I don't know. I've lived next to him for 5 years, and I just don't know much about him. That didn't sound erotic at all, George. So that's what I had for today. Have a great Tuesday. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I'll try to put up a video. It won't be a live video. I think I'll just do a quick 5-10 minute video going through the old 60s football cards. I will be on Hobby Hotline tonight. Catch that at 8 p.m. Central. Hobby Hotline on YouTube. So check that out. And that'll wrap it. So, hey, thanks for a great chat. Hit on a little bit of everything today. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Actually, we'll talk to you tonight on Hobby Hotline.